Okay, this was quite a bit, so I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. The first meeting, this is what we do in the first meeting. Now, note, we're going to go over a general overview of kind of what we do. I'm going to give you a little bit more information than I normally should, but I'm just trusting that you would take this information and continue to look at College Coaching Network as a valuable resource. If you want to take this information and go do your own thing, I wish you well, but I do want to kind of give you a little bit more information up front so you can kind of have a great impact or understanding of how we actually go through our system. So the first meeting is we're going to start out by giving. We're going to give away a $500 scholarship, which is the Sage Tuition Reward Scholarship we talked about up front. And the reason why I do this, I want to start their relationship out where they're totally just kind of disbelieving that I'm coming across as a salesperson, but they actually value me as a person that's really trying to help. And so I start the relationship out by giving to create that synergy between them and me, to know again that I'm not trying to sell something, but I'm trying to help. And so by doing that, I start every appointment out by giving a $500 scholarship away if their child is suitable to receive that, if they're a junior in high school and down to newborn. And then I start every appointment out by kind of explaining how Sage works and how it's a tuition reward. And then I'm also setting the stage for them to know that, hey, if you know anybody else, maybe their child doesn't qualify for the $500, but if you have 2 or 3 or 4 people that you think may be interested in getting this money, can you put their name and number down? And I'm actually starting the conversation out looking for referrals from the beginning, which is totally different from what most people do, but they see the value in the $500 scholarship, and so it makes it easier for me to be able to do that. And then secondly, I move over into the Sage Tuition Reward Schools list, and there's more than this on the list, but these are just the beginning in the A alphabet, but there's over 300 plus colleges within the Sage network. So I kind of walk through those schools so they can kind of get a feel for what schools may be in their area, or maybe a school that their child may be interested in, so they know kind of how the $500 tuition rewards actually works. And then we go over what is called the tuition reward frequently asked questions, and I normally just kind of hit the first paragraph. It says tuition rewards is a unique custom reward program. You can earn tuition reward points similar to frequent flyer miles and use them to reduce tuition obligations to over 285 schools at that time. Now there's over 300 plus schools now for 4-year private colleges and universities in 45 states. One tuition reward point is equal to one guaranteed minimum dollar against the list price of the tuition, and then it tells you that they can accumulate, if they're newborn, up to their junior year, $42,420 in points, which basically could cover a year or 2 of college. So pretty good program. So and then I average about 2 to 4 referrals for every appointment, not just for every customer, but for every appointment. And our system is based upon 8 appointments a week, and we'll go over that. So and then the next thing I want to do is I want to establish myself as an expert. And I know you really may not be able to see this at the biggest level, but I kind of want to go over quickly some information that's in this report. So they give me basically the schools that they're interested in, and so what we normally try to do is do a side-by-side comparison between a private school and a public school. I'm not going to do that because I don't think you can see this, but in your training video, if you became a part of College Coaching Network, you would have that in great detail. But basically what we want them to be able to see is their top 5 schools that are here. It's going to break down information about what the EFC is for the school. We'll talk about that, which is expected family contribution, what the average amount of financial aid. One school gives 100% financial aid, another school does 60%, another school does 62% in total financial aid that you need. And then they show you the endowment funds, which shows you the gift amounts, and then you can go down and you'll see like the graduation rates. One school has an 88% graduation rate in 4 years, 77%, 84, 56, not that good. So we kind of go over that with a sample report in a booklet that we ship out to all those people that actually join College Coaching Network. So you'll have a presentation booklet, which is a sample one, to present in your first appointment with all the families. All you're trying to do is just establish yourself as an expert in this area, and being able to have these reports will make you that. The next thing is the detail EFC, and so it's kind of like doing your own taxes. I don't know if you do your taxes or not. I don't. Have somebody do mine, but they go off your adjusted gross income, They look at your total income exclusions, which are kind of like your deductions. They help them to look at your available income, and then they assess your EFC from there. And so this may seem like foreign language to you, but you would be totally trained if you join College Coaching Network on how to understand these reports and how to be able to present this to families to position yourself as an expert or as a brain surgeon, as we talked about earlier. And then this here is a what if college cost estimate, and so it factors in inflation and things of that sort, and it'll take the total cost of the EFC over a 4-year period of time and show that family how much money they're going to need to have saved for each one of those schools in order to send their child to school, and that could be out to 2031 again. And this is important because it's all this is doing is exposing gap, and gap is the difference between where they are and where they need to be. So it's great reports that you'll be able to have in the first meeting for them to be able to see the value of who you are and what you can do for their family. And then we have what is called a college intake form. It's for the parents, and so we ask them some questions. So we show them the scholarship. We try to get the referrals up front, which again is between 2 and 4 referrals, and they always have somebody that they know that needs some free money for college scholarships. And then from that point, we show them how Sage works, so they know that it is legit. It's not pie in the sky. And then we move over into the booklet, which shows them those reports we went over, and then we tell them, hey, we want to do a customized booklet for you for free, and in order for us to do that, I've got a couple questions that I want to go over with you. So that's how we transition. And then from that point, our first question is an emotional question. What are your major concerns when it comes to college planning? Shut up, write it down, and listen to what they tell you. And then the second one is, how do you plan to pay for college? And then the next one is, how old will you be when your last child graduates from college? Important question, because that question right there will segue you into being able to talk to them about retirement planning, because they're a lot more closely related than what people think. And not when they graduate from high school, but college. And then, do you have any systems in place to maximize scholarship opportunities? So that's another thing that is a great question too. And then the next one we do is we get information about their child or children, the names, ages, birthdays, things of that sort, their GPA, what is their weighted GPA and unweighted. We'll talk about all that in training. Class ranking, top 5 colleges, we need those in order to do the booklet. Their major, any extracurricular activity, high school, guidance counselor, and the graduation date. So all that stuff we use in their booklet. And then we also kind of go over just kind of educating them about financial literacy. So we ask them, do you know how much money you're going to need to retire? We talk about that, and we'll do that more so in the training. The rule of 72, you should know that if you're a financial advisor. Qualified versus non-qualified funds. That opens the door up for IUL products, and for them to understand the benefit of being able to have tax-free withdrawals that they can have. So that's a great question for that. And then Social Security, pension, and personal savings. We talk to them about the 3-leg retirement stool, and that gives us an opportunity to open the door to see if they have any orphan funds that could be moved over into their own personal pension or IRA account. So those are the reasons why we kind of go through that. And then lastly, we get the information. They financially open themselves up so we can finish the booklet, which is their gross adjusted income, any exemptions that they may have, husband and wife income, do they have any current life insurance, which opens the door up for us to see if we can save them money, and money that they can save can help them to put more money back for college preparation. If they have any riders for their kids, on their insurance, or do they have them with their own separate policies, any 401k orphan funds that are left over from a previous employer that the employer is still managing, that they can maybe put into their own IRA and manage it on their own. Do they contribute to a 401k? Do they have a match? You want to find out if they're actually putting money over and above the match, which allows you to have maybe more money that you can put towards college savings in another vehicle. And then how much money could you start saving for college, if anything, and you want to get a financial commitment before you leave the house. And that gives you the ability to take some money and maybe look at other products or services that you can present to the family to allow them to see what's available for them through your products or services that you offer. So that's kind of how the first appointment happens, okay?